To Vandana's class on infertility and assisted reproductive technology. Dr. Patrick Steptoe, he along with Robert Edwards and nurse Jean have developed the first test tube baby by IVF. She was Louise Brown, born in England in 1978. Dr. Subhash Mukhopadhyay, who was a pioneer in creating the first IVF baby in India in 1978. What is infertility? Infertility is defined as the inability of a couple to give birth to a baby. 50 million world population are suffering from infertility, 2% from primary infertility, 10.5% from secondary infertility, and so on. What is the difference between primary and secondary infertility? Primary infertility is a case where the couple fails to conceive for the first time. Secondary infertility is a case where the couple have the first child, but there is a problem for the conception next time. That means second child is they are unable to have the second child. Causes of infertility. Infertility may be caused due to abnormality in the male partner or the female partner, or probably a problem in both of them, or something unknown also. Causes of male infertility could be low sperm count, low mobility, deformed sperms, the undescended testes, hypogonadism, that means testis formation is not proper, the deficiency of testosterone. There could be genetic factors like the syndromes के बारे में children you will come to know in the next chapter, that is second unit genetics में. ठीक है, smoking, alcohol, drug abuse, okay, then mental tension, hypertension, hyperglycemia. There are several factors, and any one of these or few of these can cause what is called as male infertility. Now, what are the causes of female infertility? The failure of ovary to produce egg, polycystic ovary syndrome, PCOS. Okay, now what is PCOS? Ovaries are a little bit enlarged, and in the ovary small non-cancerous growths called cysts will be existing, and PCOS causes severe hormonal imbalance. So the female who has this PCOS problem will not get her menstruation properly. Then pelvic surgery, fallopian tubes may be damaged, okay, or fallopian tubes may not be porous. It should be a tube, isn't it? In fact, the fallopian tubes, in fact, some of them are closed so that they don't allow the sperms to enter like this. Problems will be there. There can be hormone problems with respect to thyroid or pituitary or ovarian hormones. Okay, then smoking, alcohol, then psychotropic drugs. Yes, if the female is having some psychological problems, abnormalities, a psychiatrist would have recommended some drugs, and they also cause what is called as female infertility. Then chemotherapy, radiation therapy, overweight, yes, and age above 35, very important. Then diet which is deficient in folic acid, iron, zinc, vitamin B12, all these, mental stress, then depression, then sexually transmitted diseases, all these are the causes of female infertility. Okay, then what is a diagnosis and pre-art treatments? Now, assisted reproductive technique is a quite costly matter, and when a couple approach an infertility clinic, actually the gynec and the doctors over there, they will recommend for some diagnostic tests to find out actually what is the problem. So, the diagnostic test will involve simple blood test also, which the blood samples are collected to test the level of hormones, semen analysis is done, ultrasound, physical examination for undescended testes, varicose of scrotum, okay, age is important, body mass index, BMI, lifestyle, drug uses, stress factors, okay, and then diagnosis for PCOS, endometriosis, yes, disorder of the endometrium itself, non-porous fallopian tube. In the previous slide I was telling you, fallopian tube may be closed, isn't it? It should be like tube like, which should allow the sperms to enter. If it is closed, then it is not allowing the sperms to enter, so fertilization is not happening there, so naturally pregnancy will not be registered. Hostile endometrium, right? These are the, they diagnose, try to do some tests to diagnose what kind of a problem is existing in both of them. In fact, the problem may be in one of them or both of them, as we spoke earlier. Then pre-art approaches. Advice for the timing and frequency of coitus, okay, the basis of date of menstruation and determining ovulation time, all these. Then if there is a problem with the sperm count and mobility, they will be giving medicines for that. If there is a deficiency or problem with the hormones, they will be giving medicines for the tackling the hormonal problems, that is hypo or hypertropia. Okay, so there are different strategies that are usually adopted depending on the diagnosis. Then what is exactly art? Art actually refers to a number of advanced biotechnological processes that involve manipulation of gamete and embryo outside the body to help infertile couple to give birth to their baby. These techniques are used after the other conventional medical treatment fields. Very important to note. So when a couple approach an infertility clinic, directly they will not start what is art. First, initially they go for the diagnostic tests and they give an advice and wait for something to go on naturally. Okay, and if the conventional medical treatment and natural methods they fail, then that art is taken up. Now a small overview of how art is done. I'll just zoom the picture for you. First you see the first step is stimulation of ovaries. So some injections or medicines are given for the ovaries to be stimulated, so there is a ovulation, and the number of ova are increased in number, and the quality of the ova also should be good. Then eggs can be retrieved from the ovaries, and eggs are fertilized outside. Okay, then embryo is cultured, then embryos are frozen, and around 3 to 5 days later on, the embryos are transferred to the uterus. Okay, after some time again, now the pregnancy test is done by HCG is given. You see, human chorionic gonadotropin hormone is tested in fact to confirm the pregnancy. Methods of assisted reproductive technology. The first one you see, intrauterine insemination IUI, then in vitro fertilization embryo transfer IVF ET, gamete intrafallopian transfer GIFT GIFT, zygote intrafallopian transfer ZIFT ZIFT, intracytoplasmic sperm injection ICSI ICSI. Then you see intrauterine insemination. This method is useful in case of male infertility. When the sperm count is low and the mobility of the sperm is low, okay, then this method is adopted where sperms are collected, okay, and the female is normal and she is ovulating well, and the uterus is ideal for pregnancy and gestation period and implantation. So she is given some medicines for a better ovulation, and the sperms are collected from the husband and introduced into the cervix using the catheter. Okay. Now, induced ovulation and egg maturation. Synthetic hormones are administered into female for 8 to 14 days to induce ovulation and produce more number of eggs in the ovaries at one time. Now this step is monitored through blood sample test and ultrasonography for well mature and healthy eggs. Eggs are retrieved. Using ultrasound guided vaginal needle aspiration, 3 or more mature eggs are recovered after 34 to 36 hours of completion of the first step and kept in sterile and aseptic conditions in suitable culture media at regulated temperature. Now fresh sperm from the male partner is collected, okay, and there are methods for that: testicular sperm extraction, test etc. there, and these sperms obtained like this are selected for good quality sperms using density gradient centrifugation. Now you just see a comparison between artificial insemination and in vitro fertilization. So in the first picture you can see that with the catheter the sperms are being injected from the cervix into the uterus, and in the next one you see in the petri dish an ovum is surrounded by sperms. So in petri dish outside the human female body, fertilization is taking place, and hence it is called as in vitro fertilization. Okay, now when is this IVF done? Actually, when there is a blockage or damage or absence of fallopian tubes, the ovary is not functioning very properly, so abnormal ovulation is taking place, endometriosis, okay, uterine tumor or fibroid, okay, then defects in sperms, okay, all these may be the problems, okay, whether it is a male infertility or female or both of them, then that IVF has to be done. Okay, see, you see again a small overview of IVF itself. Retrieved sperms, you can see in the first one, egg is produced, I am just zooming the picture, egg production stimulated by hormone therapy, and next eggs are retrieved from the ovary, you see, sperms are taken, and in the petri dish there is a fertilization that is being aided, then two-celled stage and so on, and then how the fertilized eggs are introduced into the uterus bag, okay. And here most important point is success of pregnancy is 20% बोल रहे हैं. Assisted reproductive technologies are meant to assist infertile couples, but there is no guarantee with any of the ART technique that pregnancy is going to take place for sure. 100% guarantee cannot be given. Zygote intrafallopian transfer. Now you see, there are two ways. Once IVF is done, okay, the zygote can be introduced into the fallopian tubes if the fallopian tubes are clear, so that it can descend down and implant in the uterus, or it can be directly given to the uterus. In the previous in the previous slide we are seeing that how the embryo is directly given to the uterus, and here we are seeing that embryo in an early stage is given into the fallopian tubes and it will go down, and now it will try to implant. In this procedure, zygote is allowed to form by IVF and transferred into the fallopian tube after a day of fertilization. This method is useful in case of male infertile but female absolutely normal. Now gamete intrafallopian transfer. Now in this case actually retrieved sperms and eggs are transferred into fallopian tube where fertilization occurs followed by implantation. Okay, so in this case fertilization is not done outside the body. Okay, fertilization is going to happen in the human female, but only that the eggs and sperms are collected and they are inserted into the fallopian tube. So that is gamete intrafallopian transfer. Now here you can see the sperms and eggs are placed in the fallopian tube. There is the needle being shown. Sperms and eggs are placed into the fallopian tube. How? In the petri dish, say how they are trying to insert into the fallopian tube. Okay, and fertilization occurs in the fallopian tube, and the woman must have at least one normal open fallopian tube for this, of course, and uterus should be perfectly fine for the implantation and the gestation. Now, ICSI, intracytoplasmic sperm injection. Now, this method is very useful if there is very low count of healthy sperm and presence of sperm antibodies. Okay, sperm antibodies अगर हैं तो fertilization होने नहीं देगा in the human female body, and moreover the human male is having a low sperm count, तो क्या किया जाए? The ovum is taken out and directly a single healthy sperm is injected into the egg using micro injection under high power microscope. Okay, now coming to what is called cryopreservation, the preservation at the temperature, at the liquid nitrogen temperature. Now in this procedure, embryo formed and remain unused during IVF ET are cryopreserved for a long time for future use. Okay, the first IVF ET fails. In case the first IVF ET fails, then next can be used. Okay, so this reduces the time and cost of the second IVF ET procedure. Now what are the risk factors of IVF in ET? So see, in case of embryo transfer, what did we do? The embryo was inserted into the uterus, and waiting for implantation and confirm the pregnancy. But simply when the embryo is inserted into the uterus, it doesn't mean that it is going to implant and pregnancy is sure. So there are risk factors like miscarriage, multiple pregnancy, ectopic pregnancy most importantly. That means the fertilized the zygote which is developing, and it should really descend down from fallopian tube and try to implant in the uterus. Sometimes what happens is it doesn't come down, but it is trying to develop there only, and if it increases in size there as it divides, then what happens is that is called ectopic pregnancy. Now it may lead to the breakage of the fallopian tube there. Okay, so these are the risk factors associated with the assisted reproductive technologies. A low birth weight baby, prenatal mortality, morbidity, ovarian hyperstimulation, psychological stress, all these are some of the risk factors of ART. Okay, now surrogacy. Now surrogacy has been very much criticized in our country also. Now often what is surrogacy? Surrogacy is an agreement often supported by a legal agreement whereby a woman agrees to bear a child for another person or persons who will become the child's parent after birth. That means there is a human female jinka uterus, it is not suitable for the development of the baby, but her eggs are retrieved. Okay, sperms from the donor or the husband are taken, IVF is done, and the embryo, instead of being given back to the donor of the eggs or the mother, then it is the embryo is transferred into another woman who is just going to bear the baby for the entire gestation period and has to give back the baby to the original mother. Okay, so it is just she is just helping with her helping the mother by giving her uterus and bearing the baby for the entire gestation period. So this is done when the uterus of the female is not suitable for implantation and pregnancy. Okay, now children, I think this session you have understood the concepts of ART and the risk factors and the advantages and demerits whatever. Now let us meet in the next session with genetics, okay, the first part of genetics. Until then, goodbye.